How y'all doing? All right, before I get started, parents, you guys are pretty much in the back. Raise your hand if you're going through something right now. Any type of turmoil, crazy stuff, sending your kids off, just feeling the heaviness. Raise your hand. Hi. Hi. Okay. You can put your hands down. Thank you. Players who have already been here, okay, that are seasoned. Raise your hand if you're going through something. Right now, raise them high. Raise them high. Okay. And new players, same question. Raise your hand if you're going through something and you feel the heaviness of it. Okay, you can put your hands down. Thank you. So what I'm trying to show you guys is that at no point in your life or at every point in your life, you're gonna be going through something, some way, some shape or form. It don't matter if you're 18 years old. It don't matter if you're 38 years old. You're always gonna be going through some sort of season, okay? So in the short amount of time that I am talking with you, I basically wanna tell you a little bit of my story, what happened here and what I'm doing today. Okay, can I do that? Am I good? Yes, sir. All right. So before I came to ACU, I'm from Arizona, okay? I got a full ride to go to the University of North Dakota to be a running back there. And I was there for 3 years. Now, people can talk about politics and me not getting playing time or whatnot, but the track record up there, when I did get playing time, I did produce. But I just felt like nobody was taking me serious, right? And we had a coaching change happen. I'm sure you guys know what that's all about, right? When coaching changes happen. And the new coaching staff came in, they wanted to clear house. And when I walked into my coach's office, he looked at me and he said, "You're not good enough to play here. You probably won't see the field at all. We'll honor your scholarship, but you ain't gonna get no playing time." And I was like, okay, well, peace. I almost decked him in the face. No, I was playing. I didn't do that. But I was like, he's like, "Well, what do you want to do? I have your papers right here. I'll sign these for you to go somewhere else, you know." And I was like, "No, it's all good. I'm done playing football. Completely done. Shattered. 3 years of my time felt like it was wasted." I leave North Dakota and I come back to Arizona. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go work at a restaurant. I'm gonna be a busboy. You know, I have a 7-month-old at the time, got to move back in with my mom's. I was like, man, I just don't know if I'm really gonna make it in life. Until I went to my grandparents' house. Check this out. I sit down, I'm talking with my aunt, and I'm telling her, I'm like, hey, the only way that I would ever play football ever again in my life is if I could play in Arizona, play at a 4-year university, and play for a team that actually wants me. I said, those are my 3 conditions. I said, if I don't have those, I'm not playing. Guess what the only colleges were? There was only ASU, and there was only U of A and NAU. And I know for a fact they wasn't gonna take me because I was already 22 years old. So my aunt tells me, she says, "I really feel like you're about to have a God moment." And I'm like, sitting there, coach, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, well, if I'm about to have a God moment, I was like, where has he been this entire time while I've been going through all of this mess? Like not playing, not being able to keep my grades up, just failing in life, like not making a dollar. And she said, well, sometimes you got to go through seasons and then you can look back to see how God made it happen for you. So I'm sitting there, I get a call, bling, 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 answer it. It's my grandma. My grandma tells me, she's like, hey, you need to call this coach because they're starting a 4-year program up, it's called Arizona Christian University. And I'm like, oh, bet. So I call the running backs coach. It was Coach Bethel at the time. Funny dude. But I call him and he doesn't pick up, right? And then he calls me back. He said, hey, PJ, I'm so glad you gave me a call. I've been watching you for the last 2 years. We're starting a new football program here in Arizona. It's a 4-year university, and we want you to come out and work for the starting running back position. I said, what's it called again? He said ACU. I was like, bet, I'm there. Click. And then I started thinking, I was just like, oh, is it Arizona State? I was like, I thought they was gonna call me. I drove up on the campus, the old campus. I drove up and I was like, I know for a fact this is not a campus of ASU. I was like, but we'll make it work. So I step out, literally, he told me, he's like, we can't give you no money. we can't, you know, you're not going to be having housing because you already have a kid and you're about to be married. He's like, but if you can make it work, we want you to be here. And I said, bet. I'm there without a doubt. Went through the whole summer, didn't have a scholarship, nothing like that. That's how I met Dylan. I walked down first day, I was all tatted up, he was tatted up. So obviously we became best friends, you know, because everybody else was young. But that was my journey. Ended up getting a scholarship to play here. And then was the running back here for 2 years. I will say this, that my experience here was phenomenal. I mean, you talk about growth, you talk about trying to do the right thing. I don't know where you guys are all from, and frankly, I don't care, because at the end of the day, if Dylan can come from the west side and I can come from the north side and actually cultivate a very, very strong relationship and do something beyond the sport of football, that's something to be said. You guys are gonna find friends here that you never even thought of. I don't care if you're from the hood and then you're from Happy Valley. Trust me, that's my cross streets, is Happy Valley and Inspiration Parkway. But what I've learned here is that even through my struggle and even through all the things that I went through prior to coming here, it really didn't matter. I'm talking about drugs, being resuscitated and dying and having to be resuscitated to come back to life, pornography, all that type of crazy stuff, like the things that take away that are low value, those things didn't matter anymore. And I was like, okay, I'm here. I got what I need. I'm building relationships. And it was very, very, it wasn't a super spiritual awakening for me. It was just more of, what is your integrity and what is your responsibility as a man? Like, you guys have a responsibility here, not only for the football program, but also for yourself and what you're building to the next level after you leave here. And I graduated at the top of my class, summa cum laude, 4.0. All right, was a major feat for me. In my last semester of college, I took 29 credits just to graduate. 29 credits. Oh, y'all taking 15? Best believe. Easy money. Telling you. Try 29 and see what happens. If you can do that, I'll buy you lunch. Okay? But it was awesome because it all worked out. I had coaches, I had teachers all here that really helped me become the person that I am today. So I'll leave you with this. Okay? If you guys are here and you give it your all, it is so hard to fail. Like, straight up. It is hard to fail. If you failing, you trying to fail, to be honest, because you got all the support that you need. You got coaches here, you got spiritual mentors here, you got teachers here. I was bringing my daughter to class. I was bringing my daughter to practice. You know what they said? They said, as long as you're here, you're going to be okay. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. And now I run a business just like Dylan. I do construction and landscaping. I've been running the business, got 15, 16 employees. And I take that same mentality that I learned here into that. Not saying that I didn't have stuff happen in between when I first graduated, but now what I'm in for the last 4 years, it's identical to what I learned here. And it's crazy that what's identical to what I learned here is where I'm finding the most success in my life outside of here. So I leave you guys with that. Really hone in and just open up and give it your all. All right? Also, I was a 1,000-yard rusher my senior year. They took about, I think it was 7 yards away from me, so it was actually 993. But we'll count it as 1,000, though. But had a phenomenal time. These guys are awesome. Okay. Oh,
So PJ's going to close us in prayer, and when he does, players are going to go out and meet in your tribes, introduce yourselves to each other. For how long? 10, 15 minutes. 10, 15 minutes. Parents are going to move down or stay where they are?
I'll go up to them.
Okay, very good. Parents, you'll stay where you're at. We'll have our parent meeting. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for hey, we just thank you for this life. We thank you for the opportunities that we have in front of us, God. I really, really heavily pray for this team right here. We were team 1 and now it's team 10. Like, that's crazy. And it's only getting better. These kids are coming in and learning faster. They're adapting, God. But I really pray for the ones that are struggling, that whether if it's a parent, a newbie, or somebody that's already been here, that you just give them a peace that they can't even understand, God, that you just watch over them and help them make the executive decision for their life in everything that they do. God, I pray for these coaches, these mentors of mine, father figures, that you just give them the zeal and you give them the power to continue to hone in these guys, because we know that's going to get messy, and we know there's going to be some of them that just are doing a little too much, God. So I ask for patience with these players and these coaches. In your name, amen. Move to.
Thank you.
I gotta go. I gotta
You sound like you haven't left.
For real?
You sound like you just graduated last night.